Hey there, Donald here. I want to do a little bit something different today. I usually talk about money issues and the like. Today I want to talk about something I've experienced this last year, and many of you may, many people out there in the YouTubeosphere may have the same problem. I developed a thing called a neuroma, and what a neuroma is if you look at the anatomy of the foot between the toes, not here, but down here, there's nerve bundles that go up to the toes. That's how you can feel the tips of your toes. Well, what happens is in a neuroma, that nerve bundle between the bones gets inflamed, and trust me, it hurts. It hurts. Things like ice and heat and anti-inflammatories, NSAIDs, things like that can help. But also the type of shoes you wear help or can exacerbate the problem. Now here's the thing, if you don't get it treated or it doesn't go away from doing other things that can help with the neuroma, it'll start to scar over, and eventually the only way you get rid of the pain is have it cut out, which means generally the two toes it's associated with will be numb for the rest of your life. So anyhow, today I want to talk about some things I discovered that have been helpful. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. However, I have learned some things that can help with that and like to share it with you. Number one of the things that my foot doctor started doing was giving me steroid shots, and that helped for a while. And then I just finished a series of what they call drying alcohol shots. And what that does is it shrinks the tissue, because alcohol that's what they say call anhydrous, doesn't have water in it, will pull fluid from the area. And that also has been helpful. But what I also learned is what could possibly have caused it. Now, for me, it could have been years of skiing. You tend to put your weight forward on the balls of your feet when you're skiing. Martial arts, doing front kicks, you use the ball of your foot. Now this isn't your foot. How do I know it's not your foot? It's my hand. Anyhow, you use the ball of your foot when you do those kind of kicks, because that's a very hard surface. Unfortunately, you are human, and that is, soft tissue in there as well. Doing that, playing racquetball. I used to be a runner, ran a lot. I played some other sports that are pretty, compressive on your feet. That could have been it, or just my foot's expiration date has come. There's a lot of different ways it could have happened. There's no way to know what specifically caused it. But trust me, since it's on my right foot, it would have been a lot better if it's on my left foot, because even when you're driving an automatic, you're constantly using that foot when you drive, and I do drive a lot. What else could cause it? Well, wearing too tight of shoes. Now, since I was a runner, I always loved past tense, because I know I can't really wear them that often anymore, is I would wear running shoes because they were comfortable. They supported my flat feet and my weak ankles. But I realized now that as we gain in the number of birthdays we've had, I think I like that better than aging, our feet start to spread. They kind of grow, and your feet, especially around the toe box, around the toes and the parts below the toes, they need more width. And I've always had narrow feet because I'm small boned, but now I'm learning that it needs more room. And ladies, if a lady's watching this, I would like to recommend that you avoid wearing things like high heels. And I wear cowboy boots as well, which tend to have a higher heel than a regular shoe. And they tend to be pointy, and you tend to have a smaller toe box for your feet, so they're very tight. Same thing with high heels. I mean, if you're wearing stilettos, you're putting all your pressure on the balls of your feet when you walk. And if you start developing this, you may have to kiss those shoes goodbye, or really deal with the pain. And so one of the other things we've tried, my foot doctor tried, was they're called metatarsal. Sorry, that's metacarpal is your hands. pads, these little pads here. And what you do is you can put them on the insoles of your shoes. If they're removable, you know, your insoles are removable, it's much easier to put them on there. And they got a sticky back. You can peel this off and put it on there. Now again, I'm going to use my hand like it's a foot, like this is the ball of your foot. Whoops. You want to put this right behind it. Okay, so like here where you have your hand cup right here, that's like the arch of your foot. You want to put it down in there, not up here, because you want to take the pressure off of that area where the nerve goes. Okay, so what this does is it lifts those bones and it separates them, takes some pressure off that nerve. Now what people do with this, they usually put it on, I'll take an example of an insole. They usually put it on, stick it on the top of it, or you can put it on the back to make it a little bit less noticeable, because sometimes these, even though it's like a 1/4 of an inch thick, can cause some pain as well because you're not used to wearing it. Now these may take some time to get used to. And some people stick them right to their feet. Now I've tried it and it did not work well. It kind of really hurt. Taking off this adhesive on the back of these things are very strong, and take some time to get used to. And I put them in all the shoes I could that I had removable insoles. The ones that don't, I had to just live with it. But it really has helped, because once the doctor put one in a pair of shoes that I wore at his office, I noticed relief within the next day. Didn't make the neuroma go away, but it made the shoes much easier to wear and easier to walk and easier to drive a car. Now I'm going to put in the description down below where you can find these. Now these are the ones that I use, but you can find them anywhere, and they're on Amazon. You can get them at drugstores, things like that. But I have a link down below where you can order them. Now, what's the next thing I did? Next thing I did was my primary care physician, looked at my shoes and he says, "You need a bigger toe box." And I go, "I do?" Because I've had some other shoes that have wider toe boxes, and he says, "No, you need them really wide." And the ones he recommended, I'm sure if I was still a runner, would be great. But then I looked at the price tag. They were, a couple of the ones he recommended were over $400. Yeah, I stuttered on that, $400 for a pair of shoes. And they're built for that, but they're also built for being active. Well, you can look at me, I think I'm a little past the age of running 5K runs and things like that, but I used to love running, and I definitely wouldn't dare run on hard surfaces like streets or sidewalks. So, you know, I kept poking around trying to find something similar that was cheaper, and I discovered these. I don't know if you can see it on the inside. It's JACKSHIBO or JACKSHIBO or JACKSHIBO. I don't know how to pronounce it. But if you look at these, and I don't have another regular pair of shoes here, you'll notice, like, here's the sole. Look how wide that is. Very wide. And they're very soft. These are just slip-ons. They're what I call one step away from slippers because they're so comfortable. Now let me get the insole out. Now, unlike other soles that I wear, like in my running shoes, I use, what are they? I'll think of them in a minute. But anyhow, they're very hard. And what they do is they give you a lot of stability. And I don't have those with me right now, but I've been putting those in my athletic shoes for years. Now these are very soft, so they give. Not real thick, but even the soles that are in that shoe are very soft. And so instead of that constant beating you get when you walk or run, it takes the pressure off. It takes, compresses quite a bit. So it takes a lot of the energy to go right to the ball of your foot and dissipates it. Now, one thing that's kind of cool about this, and I didn't notice it until I bought them, but I did read about it, is, I don't know if you can see that in the light. Let's see if I can move it a little bit. See, there's a little lump right there. That's like that metatarsal pad, but it's built into this. And let me tell you, when I put these things on compared to my running shoes, I was in heaven. I mean, I wouldn't run in them, but they do make some that are more like athletic shoes as well, that this particular brand. And yeah, I'm doing everything I can so the doctor doesn't come after me with a scalpel to cut that darn thing out. So anyhow, I find them very, very helpful. And also, let's see here. I found several on YouTube, but I found one foot doctor that does a lot of videos on foot pain. So if you have foot pain, if you have like plantar fasciitis, you have the problem like I have, you have the bunions or the toes that start to come over, which is also caused by too small of a toe box. This guy has all sorts of ideas for you, so you don't have to go and necessarily go to the doctor or go that far. But you know, if things don't help, I suggest you do. One of the things my podiatrist keeps wanting me to do is getting some orthotics made, which I'm sure would help a lot, but just like the shoes my primary care suggested, you know, there's a price to it. So the guy's name, and I'll put it at the end of this video, is Dr. Tom Bernanke, and he's really good at what he does. So anyhow, take care of your feet, because it's your foundation for everything. And if your feet hurt, it kind of ruins life. So anyhow, again, metatarsal pads, bigger, wider shoes, softer shoes. These kind of things will help you if you've got a neuroma or plantar fasciitis, anything like that. They're good for all those kind of foot problems. And yeah, the shoes are dorky looking. I call them my clown shoes, but you know what? I feel a lot better. All right, hope this is helpful. Take care.